Oh, hey cats and kittens, didn't even see you there. It's Gavin the Greaser here, back with more content because, well, I haven't filmed in about kind of a long time, so I figured I'd get back to you guys. You dig? Alright, so, today's video is on, I figured I'd give you guys a little background, a little update information on greaser clothing and the truth behind it, because there is a truth behind it, but people who are new to the subculture and new to the thing don't know about it because they're just now getting into it. Well, that's what this whole channel's about, is helping people that are new to the subculture or are wanting to learn more about it, help people learn more about it. So, what I'm going to do is I have a list right here of items that greasers wore back in the 50s and what their cost is in modern day. That's what I'm kind of going to do for today's, video. So like I said, I have a list. I'm going to be naming off the items on the list that I have. It's not a whole fucking, bunch of things. It's literally like, 5, 6 things. And I have the number added up. And what it's all going to come to is we're going to get to that at the end. But for right now, we're going to go through all these items, talk about them a little bit. And I'm going to tell you guys what the price is going to be at the end, along with some information on these things, but you get the whole idea by now. At least you should. You dig? Alright. First item. Alright. And before I get into this, guys, alright, I'll tell you at the end. First item. Chippewa engineer boot. Alright, so if you know me, I have a pair of engineer boots. They're not Chippewa engineer boots because, well, Chippewa engineer boots are very expensive. And I don't have fucking, money to be thrown away on a pair of boots. Don't have that. So, yeah, Chippewa engineer boots. If you don't know what those are, search them up. I don't know how you search them up. Google, whatever you use. Go in there, and on the search bar, search up Chippewa engineer boots. You'll know what I'm talking about. Alright? Go from $200 to $400. Okay? It kind of depends on where you live and how the price is going to be. Again, I don't know where you live. I don't know how much fucking, the price is going to be. Kind of depends on you. Kind of depends on where you live, where the price is going to be in the range of $200 to $400. That's just how much I see them going for. Alright? So yeah, $200 to $400 for a pair of Chippewa engineer boots. My engineer boots I paid about $100 for. I got them for so cheap because I didn't buy Chippewa engineer boots. I bought a company called Dingo, who is another old school company, but they're less expensive than Chippewa engineer boots are. So, like I said, if you don't know what those are, type them in. You'll see what the fuck I'm talking about. You dig? Next item. These are very classical for the 1950s. I still have a pair to this day of this pair of shoe. Chuck Taylors. Alright, that's what they were called back in the day, And those go for, at least the pair I bought, go for $56.99. Plus tax. I don't remember how much the tax was because I bought them a long time ago. I bought them like 2 years ago. I don't fucking know how much the tax was. Okay? But yeah, $56.99. Probably tax added to that for a pair of black canvas and white rubber pair of Chuck Converse. The original basketball shoe. That right there. Which I've shown you guys multiple times what they look like. Which you should know what they look like because they're a very classic shoe. It comes from the 50s, alright? It didn't come from the basketball players. It came from the 50s. That's what it came out of. And then, basketball players, all this other shit started happening with them. But it originally came from from the 1950s. You dig? So that's how much those go for. Alright, next one. Get into little shirts now, because we only covered, 2 shoes, or a boot and a shoe. Whatever you want to call it. Your choice. I really don't care. Next one, Pendleton Canyon shirt, which if you don't know what that is, Pendleton is a old school company, original company of, flannels and t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, that kind of thing. And I looked them up today, to see what the price was today, and they go for $126.99. That's for one shirt, too. And that's for a fucking whole ton of flannels, one shirt. I believe the flannels I have to this day, I bought for like $10, and I got them at Walmart. So, yeah, $126 for one, flannel, long sleeve shirt, whatever the fuck you bought. That's how much it's gonna be. You dig? Okay, last one. This is a item I also own. I pretty much own items off of this list I made, but one, and that is the Pendleton Canyon shirt. I don't own one of those. I don't own a shirt like that. The flannels I have, I paid about $10 for. But I own a pair of Chuck Taylors. I own engineer boots. Not Chippewa engineer boots, but I own engineer boots. You dig? Last one. Milwaukee biker jacket. Now this item right here is not original, alright, but I own this jacket, alright? So I do get questions sometimes, randomly ask, what, leather jacket do I wear? And the company I have my leather jacket as is called Milwaukee Leather. Alright, look that up. You'll know what I'm talking about. You dig? So yeah, Milwaukee biker jackets. All you gotta type in. That's what I typed in. When I was first finding my biker jacket, that's what I typed in. I typed in biker jacket, and up behold came Milwaukee biker jacket. And I clicked on it because I liked the way it looked, And the price I paid for it was $134.99. Probably, I think, $10 for tax. Long and behold, right? Alright, so that's all the items I wrote down. There's obviously a lot more, original clothing, retro-styled clothing that greasers wore, but there's so much fucking clothing from back in that time and era, I can't even go into a whole list. My camera would be completely out of space if I did that. Alright, so, get ready for this. The price of the Chippewa, so if you bought these things today, in the modern society, the modern era, if you bought the engineer boots, the pair of Chuck Taylors, well, that's high tops or low tops. I don't exactly know if there's a different price change on the high top Chuck Taylors or the low top Chuck Taylors. You can call them whatever you want. Chuck Taylors, Converse, and there's other companies too that do make similar shoes to Chuck Taylors. There's not just the one company. There's, PF Flyers, a company called PF Flyers. Keds, there's a ton of different companies. There's a few different companies that sold high-top, shoes like that in the 50s. It wasn't just Chuck Taylors. They're original. Chuck Taylors is an original company name, but there are other companies, guys, that made the Chuck Taylor styled shoe in the same perspective, just got a different company name. You dig? Anyways, I'm rambling. Back to the price for all this shit right here. So, anyways, the engineer boots, the Chuck Taylors, the Pendleton Canyon shirt, and the Milwaukee biker jacket, which is not an original product, but is a jacket I own to this day, and it's been working for me for like 2 years, 3 years now. All that comes to, because I had to calculate to find out, all that comes to $757.95. And then maybe a little bit off, but it's close enough. So you're pretty much just about paying $1,000 for the engineer boots, the Chuck Taylors, the Pendleton Canyon shirt, and the Milwaukee biker jacket. It's pretty much almost $1,000. You gotta think, guys, there's tax on most shit that's, on clothing brands, on everything. There's mainly gonna be, tax on this shit. It doesn't have to be clothing related, but anything you buy, there's gonna be tax most of the time, 10 out of 10 times. Okay, 9 out of 10 times, because I bought some shit in the past that didn't have tax on it. So 9 out of 10 times, guys, there is gonna be tax with clothing items or anything really related. Or that's got tax on it. He did. I really don't because I don't like paying for the shit. But is what it is. Alright, so all that back in the 50s, guys, wouldn't even be close to that amount right there. You know? If you bought, you know, the Chippewa engineer boots, you know, and the Chuck Taylors, the shirt, the biker jacket, all that back in the 50s, guys, probably would have got you to at least like 40, 50 bucks around that price range. That's one thing you gotta remember, guys. It's, you know, it's not the 1950s anymore. So, you know, you gotta take a look into, you know, a perspective of modern pricing. Okay? But yeah, so all that today would have been close to like $1,000. In the 50s, though, would have been close to like 50 to 40 bucks. Alright? Most of the shit on here is original biker, greaser-related gear. Okay? You know, all that shit mainly is. You know, the engineer boots, the biker jacket, that's original biker gear. You know? So, yeah. One thing you gotta remember, guys, that when you're out looking for clothing and, you know, fucking jeans and shirts, flannels, whatever you're looking for, don't matter what you're looking for. But if you're looking for clothing items, mainly clothing items, and you're out looking for clothing items, you know, whatever that item may be, you know, try to find the deals, guys. Alright? So you gotta remember here, guys, greasers from back in the 50s were either poor, lower class, working men. You know, they didn't have this fucking, you know, money. They didn't get to go waste on clothing brands and items and, you know. And here's the thing. It's not really about brands, guys. It's about finding the cheapest things. To be honest, guys, you're going to be more authentic in a way of finding deals than you are going to be with, you know, saying, oh, well, I'm trying to be an original greaser. I need to buy the Chippewa engineer boots, you know, and the Chuck Taylors, which Chuck Taylors, honestly, you can find anywhere. So that's probably the only original cheap items you could find. But, you know, going, oh, I'm going to buy the Pendleton Canyon shirt and the engineer boots. Most of that shit, guys, is going to be expensive. And like I said, you're going to be more authentic in a way of buying and finding deals on shit than you are going to be, you know, finding the old shit. Yes, the old shit is cool. Don't get me wrong. I would love to own a pair of Chippewa engineer boots. I would love to own, you know, the Pendleton Canyon shirt. I would love to own that. But do I have the money for it? Well, no, I don't. I don't have $1,000 on me right now to go and buy on a shirt. Would I love to own it? Yeah. Hell yeah, I would love to own that shit. But do I have money for it? Well, no, I don't. And that's, you know, kind of where that thing stands out of the big, you know, part. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end this here. That's kind of what I wanted to go through here is some greaser items, some clothing brand items, and what the whole thing is about, you know, because when I got asked that question about my leather jacket, that kind of, you know, made me thinking, made me, you know, going through and, you know, trying to think of some things from the 50s that cats were wearing back in that day and kittens, you know, rebels that were wearing back in that day, and kind of put together a little list for you cats and kittens out there on greaser items from back in the 50s that still exist but are hard to find. Alright? Yeah, things are old. You know, if people aren't listening to them or wearing the item, it doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means they're old. You dig? But yeah, so there's the list, guys. That's all I really have. As you can see. I don't know if you can really see any of that shit, but if you can, well, that's my list of 5 items of greaser clothing and branding items that, you know, well, you get the idea by now. Alright, I'm going to end the video here because we're at 14 minutes right now. About to be at 15 minutes. So I hope this kind of gave you cats out there and kittens. Can't forget about the kittens and the chicks too. Hey, how you doing? Hope this gave you guys an idea, a perspective of greaser items and, you know, all this other stuff. Hope that gave you an idea of what greasers were wearing back in the 50s and, you know, how they had shit back in the 50s. Yeah. I have more videos made. I just haven't posted them. So if you're wondering where the videos have been, or you know certain things have been, mainly follow me on my Instagram and my social media sites and whatnot, so you can see and get updates of what I'm doing. You know how I'm doing my shit. You know if I'm working on any new videos, all that shit will be posted on my Instagram mainly. I have a Twitter, I have a Snapchat, but I post things mainly on my Instagram because that's the site that I use the most. You dig? Alright, so that's kind of going to cover today's video topic of greaser clothing branding items. And yes, they do still exist. They're just old school. Alright, they do exist. You dig? So yeah. That's kind of really all I got for you cats today. You're still watching. Why are you still watching the video? It's over. Yeah, the wind's going crazy out there. It is.